I had this 2019 Kawasaki Vulcan S for a whole year now, and I must say I love it a lot. And if I had to give my 1 year review on it, I'd say that this is one of the best bikes, even though this is the only bike I ever had, one of the best bikes to, wow, there's no turning lane here. But this is one of the best bikes that to learn on. You know, it's like, it's an awesome learner bike, and after you learn, you can have decent enough power to not get bored whenever you wow, what was that? I was like in 60 in like 3rd gear. You can have decent enough power to wow, what was that? I was like in 60 in like 3rd gear. I don't even know how fast it took me to get there. But anyways, like I was saying, this is like a good learner bike, and once you learn on it, it has enough power to do whatever you needed to do whenever you're on the interstate or you're on the city streets. And throughout the whole year of me learning how to ride, I not once dropped my bike. I'm lucky. I'm like super lucky. Now, I'm gonna say I have had close calls where it was on the verge of going down, and I put my legs down and I used my arms and I pulled that bad boy right back up. But it never laid down, no. So I'm pretty lucky on that tip. So yeah, so you know, there was times where I was on the verge of dropping the bike, but it was always during like low speed maneuvers in like a parking lot or a gas station or something like that. And but I never dropped it. I know a lot of people suggest getting the crash bars, or what they call engine guards, so that if you do drop it, you don't mess up your gas tank and you don't dent it up, because it costs so much to get it banged back out or get a whole another one. And but I didn't get it, and like I said, I feel lucky though. I'm not gonna go say, oh, I'm the best dude that ever rode a bike, I never dropped it, and yeah, no, nothing like that. I just like to take precautions, and I consider myself lucky. It's like the only marks that I have on this bike right now are on my handlebars, like on the ends of my handlebars. From where I store it and everything, I bumped up against a couple things pulling it out, and yeah, so, but other than that, my bike is pretty much pristine. Oh, I can't forget the love bugs. The love bugs, they just like mess your stuff all up. I call myself trying to get them off, but they find their way into the craziest crevices. Let me see, let me try to think of some downsides and some bad things about this bike. I can't fit it in my bed to cuddle it at night. That's a downside. It won't fit in the shower so we can shower together. Yeah, that's a pretty big downside too. So I feel very close to my bike. But okay, yeah, I could say one true downside is the seat, because when I first started riding, I wasn't really riding for that long, because I was just going on like little back roads and trying to learn the basics and stuff like that. But once I started riding for more than an hour, it's like after like 45 minutes or so, your butt just starts to hurt and tingle. And after that hour, it's like, ooh, you know, you got to stand up and let your butt rest a little bit and then continue on. But I eventually upgraded to a Corbin, and they have two different kinds for the Kawasaki. They have the Solo, and they have the Gunfighter, and I opted for the Gunfighter because it looked pretty cool. It's comfortable as heck. I actually took a trip from Tampa all the way to Daytona Beach during October Beach Week. I mean Beach Week. During October Bike Beach Week, and it was a pretty nice ride over there. and it was a round trip the same day. I didn't stay there, you know. I rode from Tampa to Daytona, rode around looking at all the bikes, went down Main Street twice. And then after the second time going down Main Street and seeing a horse riding on a sidecar on a motorcycle, which is pretty cool, I came straight on back to Tampa. And on the way back, my butt did start feeling a little tingly, because that was like over 5 hours of like sitting down and riding continuously. I didn't like get off my bike or nothing. I just kept on riding and changed my battery, took a couple pictures, and kept riding. And yeah, that was a pretty long day right there sitting down. So, you know, like, it did kind of start to hurt that day, and actually had to stop and get off the interstate I-4. If you're riding for more than like 4.5 to 5 hours, yeah, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and take a little rest. I think your bike will like it, and your blood will like it too. And I almost ran out of gas that day because I wasn't thinking, I was still learning. But I didn't run out of gas. Has a pretty good gas gauge. It does have a light that says, you know, you need gas, pull your ass over. So luckily it has that, because if it didn't have that, I was like a good, what, 20 miles or more, 30 miles or more, 40 miles or more away from my destination coming back, and I would not have made it home if I did not see that gas light on. So that's a plus. It comes with a gear indicator. That's a mega plus, especially for people who are just starting out. I mean, after a while, you still might use it sometimes, especially if you're at like a red light and you're like, oh, I forgot to shift back down to first, you know. That helps out so you don't stall out and stuff like that. And one problem I did have a couple times is to where I'm like in like 5th or sometimes 6th gear, and then I like go to stop, like either emergency stop, or it's like the light's changing red, and then I have to like stop all of a sudden, and I forget to downshift progressively, and I'm like stuck in 6th gear at like a standstill, and then it's like I have to use the throttle to rev my RPMs up just so that the gear will change. I'm not sure if that's normal, because like I said, I'm no pro, but I have encountered that issue to where I had to raise my RPMs to change out of 6th gear. So having that gear indicator is a very good thing to have, so you can you know, try to not get caught in them high gears and not knowing where you're at, and accidentally putting it in neutral and rev it up, and you know, all kind of stuff like that could happen. I mean, there's all kinds of mods and all kinds of accessories you can get for this bike. They have like you get the rear mirrors, the what they call it, the tidy tail light thing, where you can eliminate your tail fender if you like that kind of thing. It does make it look pretty nice, but me, I actually just kept mine stock all the way. The only thing I changed on it was the seat, and this windscreen I have is tinted and everything, but it's actually made by Kawasaki, and it's what Kawasaki puts on their Cafe Vulcan S's, which is basically the same thing as this bike. Only difference is that it comes with the windscreen and a different paint scheme too. Another thing I love about this bike is the color scheme, because they like blacked out the wheels, and then like they blacked out the handlebars. They got a little black on the gas tank. They blacked out the engine, and looks dope. I like it. Blacked out everything almost except for like a little highlights with the I don't know if you want to call that stainless steel, because it's not really chrome, but it's like a metal color. There is some chrome on the forks. We're going downtown. Actually, we're not. What else can I say about this bike? The headlights. I've rode this bike at night, and I do wish I had more brightness in my headlight. because I feel like sometimes I can see the road like directly in front of me, but I want to see the road down the road. Like when I'm in my car, I can like see down the road, you know. On my bike, it's not so much like that. And I try not to ride my bike too far out the city at night because there's a lot of deer and wild boar. They like to jump across the street. Not only that, there's turtles, alligators, possums, armadillos. Oh. They got something stuck in their fender. Yeah, another good thing about this bike is that it is equipped with ABS. And there was a few times that I had to do some emergency braking. And if I didn't have ABS, I'm not totally sure what exactly would have happened. And I really don't want to know what would have happened if I didn't. I'm just glad that I have it and I didn't have a bad day in those instances. And yeah, one time it was when it was wet and raining, and after I saved myself, I like forgot that I had the bike in first gear and not in neutral, and I let my hand off the clutch and it like conked out. Luckily it just like conked out, you know, it just turned off by itself. I know some bikes, it might take off if you release the clutch too much and idle on and off, you know, but this bike doesn't idle off. At least it has not idled off on me yet. And this bike also has a function to where if you are in gear and your kickstand goes down, your engine cuts off completely. So that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. And basically just, you know, try not to kick your kickstand down unless you're ready to use it. But going back to the headlights, I have seen people upgrade their headlights and they've used LEDs, and they say that it is a lot brighter. And one day I do want to go that route, but as for now, I'm just keeping everything stock. See this leaning right here? One thing that I did not like to do when I first started was lean. I thought that I would lean too much and I would drop the bike. But the more I rode, the more I became accustomed to leaning. And you still don't want to lean too much because you want to have your peg clear the ground, even though that it will bend in for you, and it has little pads just in case you do scrape peg. It was a
Kawasaki Vulcan.
Thank you.
What size?
It's a 650. Yeah. Have a good one. See, even Harley guys like the Kawasaki Vulcan S. But alright, y'all, so with this review, like this bike, man, if you are a beginner and you want to learn how to ride, I would highly recommend. If you already know how to ride and you're looking for a bike that is very good, very nice, very safe, I would say safe as in yours, as safe as you ride, but it has safety features like ABS, I would highly recommend this bike. And if you just like to ride, period, I would recommend this bike because it's pretty nice. You know, this is 650. You know, it's not like a 250 or 350, something smaller. It's in the uppers of the 600 class, and they actually took the engine from a Ninja 650, which is the sports bike, and stuck it in a cruiser frame, and it sounds lovely. So it has a little bit of a sporty tone to it, and when you get in those high RPMs, yeah, oh my god, it's I'm not going to change my exhaust, even though I used to want to. I'm going to just leave it alone. Well, alright, y'all, thanks for watching.